Those are two good ones.
Yeah, y'all come sit right here in this front row. Hey, Violet. How are you? How are you? No, you can't sit up here. Only the Girl Scouts. Come back. List, I'll sit right next to each other. I don't know, it may only be our troop. I don't think anybody else is coming. What'd she say?
Are you sure?
I mean, I think so.
Alexis, that's rude. Yeah, you can sit. I wanted to ask you about the daisies. Are you doing daisy person by the tree?
So, I have a daisy troop right now,
Okay.
but I opened it because Joyce's sister was dying, so they made it like, they call it like a sister troop.
Okay.
But I only have, what grade's Joey in? First? So she moves in a sec, so she moves to Browns next year. And then, Juana's pretty slinky with Daisy. What's Clara, kindergarten?
She's gonna be in kindergarten.
So, I don't know. Did y'all bring some cookies? No, but we could have.
Uh,
Didn't y'all have any in the car? No.
man,
What kind do you like, Miss Linda? Cause we can make deliveries.
nicer on.
Peanut butter, yes. Peanut butter chocolate, we're out of the Samoas. That's the only thing we're out of.
Peanut butter tagalong.
Yes,
You have the mint?
yes. Okay, yeah.
I didn't know we got that.
You know what we'll do? We'll just fill up some boxes, Ruth, and go up there sometime tomorrow maybe. Well, we're going to Hattiesburg tomorrow.
We usually close on Fridays, but we're open this Friday because we swapped it for our Mardi Gras day.
Okay, so maybe Friday, see anybody there.
Okay, I'll let them know.
Let's see. Josh Salvo. Let's see. Who sits next to you? Where's Jeffrey sit here?
So, I don't know.
Jeffrey. Gene. No numerical order. Honestly, why would there be any rhyme or reason? Where's Doug? Here.
Doug's usually here. Kyle's here. Gary's in the middle.
There's Gene.
I tried to put them in order once before, and they didn't go along with that.
No.
Because it could work right now with Gary being the
I've got
president.
to, stay tuned.
Jeffrey won't be here because. And do y'all need a packet like a Finesse packet?
I know
Usually they just give us the agenda, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah.
And then they'll pass down
Yeah. I got
the minutes from last time, and we all have to sign. Usually they get stuck in Josh's area for some reason. I don't, he must have sticky stuff on his desk or something.
I get busy.
I mean, he's.
I missed the Gene.
We all started, Doug. Right here.
You know, he's a chili champ, huh?
I mean, he's a master of all trade, man. His tacos were something to brag about too.
tacos too?
A few years ago.
You don't wanna cook crawfish?
Cook crawfish.
Can't cook crawfish?
I do, I just.
or else you steal my chocolate out of my bowl up here.
But I will though.
This one? Okay. Yeah, I printed all that out.
That's the Weaver quote.
You want me to go get something else? Let me go see if they have chocolate.
Hey, you might just have one from another job he's getting rid of. I don't know.
You know, it's like
Right next to her.
the garage up there.
Yeah. Just looking over that.
Two quotes on the lights.
30 minutes tonight?
I hope.
You hope not. How you feeling?
Huh?
How you feeling?
Tired, man.
Tired?
Just drove in from Houston.
Wow. Went for a checkup?
Yeah, everything was good. But,
Good.
just tired. Long day.
It's a ride, ain't it?
Yeah, it's a long ride. Pain in the ass.
Y'all have one down there?
That one right there.
So these are for the lights over at the park?
Well, they better get them done for opening day.
Oh, it's
Or
a
don't
big
matter.
park.
Yeah. It was under 10 and I don't know what happened. Over the weekend, there's another pole. I think it's field 5, the one that's got all the lights on it. 10 of them now on it.
Morning.
What's going on?
Jeffrey's not gonna be here.
Is Doug gonna be here?
Got church tonight.
No, he's doing.
Are you
some
wanting us
kind
to
of
sign
marriage
this? You're starting it on this end, is what
Yeah, I
you're
guess
doing?
it's true. It does similar.
Okay.
Buc-ee's.
Um,
You done with Buc-ee's?
yeah, Sunday, 12 o'clock. 16 days, 12-hour days.
Wow. You don't count?
Yeah, that kind of kicked my ass.
We send this as of this day.
Yeah, I'll get it straight.
We're signing this as of that date. In 2/18, today's. March 5. They said Jeffrey's not here. Jeffrey. Mr. Kyle.
There you go, Buc-ee's done.
We done.
Done?
I've done my part. True with that one.
What are you gonna do with the coming soon piece?
Well, I gotta go take that down. I gotta take that banner down. That's easy. And put up some bird spikes.
That looks good. It's pretty impressive. You put that big thing up.
What was bad was the wind. It was so bad.
Oh yeah.
Still on that end, don't trust me to pass them down.
I know. I met the owner of Bucky's, and he tells me a quick story. He said, "Yeah, I graduated from Texas A&M, and said there's two things that I want to do: is open up a store, but I wanted good pay for the employees, clean bathrooms." I said, you nailed it."
Yeah.
He says, "Women find out about clean bathrooms, they coming."
Mm-hmm.
They-
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, it's individually owned, like privately owned? All that
Oh yeah, he owns everything. Yeah, you can't invest in that.
man.
Oh, he's doing another one in Lafayette. Actually, though, sign company that has the contract wanted me to do 5 more locations. I said, I can't. It's too far.
They're all gonna get, if I were, if you're a trucker, you just, there's that love still on the name of each name.
About ready? Come on. That's serious. All right, I'm gonna call to order the March 5th, 2025 City Council meeting for Bay St. Louis. First thing up, invocation and pledge, Mr. Lewis.
Just ask that we bow our heads. Amen. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Lord, in light of the Lenten season, I'd like to give a prayer for Ash Wednesday. Gracious God, today begins a period of inner reflection and examination. The day stretch before me and invite me inward to that silent, holy space that holds your spirit. This special time beckons me to see my life through Christ's eyes and the truth and reality of your love incarnate. Give me the grace to enter the space of these days with anticipation of our meeting. And when I open my soul to your presence, let your loving kindness flow over me and seep into the pockets of my heart. I ask this for the sake of your love, and will end on our Father.
Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, dear Father, who which is in heaven, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Play ball. First, let's see, Mike, you want to add this amendment?
I would like to add, lights for the sports complex to the agenda. I have 2 quotes they will get today. What had happened, we had some lights out, it was under this week, lost a bunch of lights on field 5, and it's over that, and I think the low bid is 15 free on that, so I'd like to add that to the agenda.
Okay, take it mayor's business?
Yeah, you put it on.
Okay. Let's see, first up, announcements, March 18th, 2025 will be the next city council meeting. First up, our guest, we got Girl Scouts Week proclamation. Did y'all bring cookies for us? You forgot or sold out? Okay. Can boys be Girl Scouts? Good.
Whereas March 12th, 2025 marks 113th anniversary of Girl Scouts USA, the largest and most impactful leadership program for girls in the world. Whereas over 50 million alumni of Girl Scouts have made a difference in the world as trailblazers, visionaries, and leaders. Whereas all Girl Scouts offers important out-of-school learning, enrichment and skill-building opportunities with a focus on public service, civic engagement, and community building. Whereas their program installs lifelong appreciation for nature and the environment through exciting summer camp experiences. Now, therefore, I, Michael J. Fall, Mayor of the City of Bay St. Louis, along with the City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of March 9th to March 15th as Girl Scout Week. Congratulations.
Oh, that's great. Go ahead, you get in the middle.
Thank y'all.
Let's see. All right, we got another proclamation to proclaim March 8th, 2025 Super Mudfest Day in the Bay. Get your cups.
The bread bowl.
I'm sorry. What's that?
The bread bowl.
Red Bowl. Okay.
What's Mrs. D?
This is Holly Harrison, President of Old Town Merchants, and Barbara Brockman, representing Old Town Merchants.
Whereas the City of Bay St. Louis proudly celebrates the 17th annual Super Mud Fest, and cherished community event that unites art, culture, and culinary experience. And whereas Super Mud Fest has become a time-honored tradition, drawing residents and visitors alike to Old Town Bay St. Louis to experience the creative talents of our local artists and the delicious offerings of participating merchants. And whereas the event is made possible through the dedication and collaboration of the Old Town Merchants Association, the Hancock Tourism, and local artist community who work tirelessly to bring this unique celebration to life each year, while also promoting local artistry, economic growth, and supporting vital community initiatives, including Roots Blessing Box, which provides essential resources to those in need. Whereas this year's event showcased the exceptional craftsmanship of 12 talented local artists, we have created over 800 handcrafted soup bowls, 900 handcrafted soup bowls, providing guests with a tangible piece of Bay St. Louis' rich artistic heritage. Now, therefore, I, Michael J. Fall, Mayor of the City of Bay St. Louis, along with the City Council, do hereby proclaim Saturday, March 8th, 2025, a Super Mudfest Day in the Bay. Encourage all citizens and visitors to participate in an extraordinary event supporting our local artists, businesses, and community initiatives. Thank y'all.
We gotta buy bowls. We got 900 of them.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome.
Good luck selling all those bowls Saturday.
Yeah.
Y'all will. You run out every year, so I think you will again.
Okay, next up, let's see. Minutes approval. We have a motion to approve the minutes for February 18th of 2025.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Hoffman. Any changes?
No change.
No changes? Second, Councilman DeSalvo. Any discussion? Vote the motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye, motion carries 5-0. Mayor's report.
Appreciate adding, lights. We have one from All Phase Electric Supply and another one from Weaver Electric. Weaver Electric, 18 lights is $15,300, as we stated earlier. They, we had, I think it was 11 lights to be replaced. It was under the 10,000. Went out there today when they looking at everything and found out we had some more lights go out on field 5, and it's driven the price up to 15.3. So we just asked to go ahead and move forward with this project.
The only thing that I would ask is that they list with the parts that they used. Because with this price, they should be replacing the ballast and the light bulbs.
Yes. And I think most of it goes to the ballast and everything. They won't know exactly till they get up in there.
Correct. Now,
Wish
do
we
we get
had
a
time to
reduction?
figure out LED lights and have, something
putting
done with
LEDs
that.
in?
Huh?
They're putting LED lights in?
No, but it's something we do want to move forward with, LEDs. And again, they'd have to put the scope of work together with how many lights to replace what we have up there now. So hopefully for next year, we'll be able to maybe change over and, start researching that.
Yeah, but when they do this, just have them.
Yeah, they'll list everything they do.
Yeah, because if they don't use the ballast, they should reduce the price.
Correct.
Hey, Mayor, where do we stand with those batting cages?
I think he's got one going in, being rebuilt.
So both of them are, you got the cross beams that are, and I know this isn't in relation to this, but I do know we have some lighting.
Right.
I would imagine it. I think those are just solar lights that we probably put on there. I'm sure that's not part of this quote, right? But I know some of those cross beams are probably rotten. There's concerns about where some of those beams are placed too when the kids are in there hitting. So he's getting just one replaced. Is there a reason not to do
Well, I
both?
thought he had one being done now, then he was gonna move to the other one and get it done.
So they're on the
Setting the
process.
poles. I think,
Okay.
I don't know if poles have been set. I hadn't been out there this week or anything, but they were supposed to be setting the poles to get it rebuilt, and then was gonna move to the other one and get it rebuilt.
Are we just doing the 4x4s? We're just gonna kind of set those out more because that's.
They're gonna go to the outside of the slab,
Okay, perfect.
yes.
Okay, good.
Cause right now they're inside on both of them.
Yeah, it's close. Yeah, it's-
Close, yeah. It's gonna give an extra foot or so probably
Okay.
on each side.
Okay, so I have a motion to approve the repair of these lights for the total amount of $15,300 to Weaver Electric.
Motion.
Motion, Councilman DeSalvo. Have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilman Davis. Any discussion? Vote the motion.
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries 5-0. Y'all got anything else, Mike?
Now, the only other thing, next Monday, I think it's the 10th, will be opening day, 6 o'clock. So I think Brent sent something
On
out.
Monday?
Huh?
On Monday?
I think it is, yes.
I guess.
I think that's what the email was.
Okay.
So, and that'll be at 6 o'clock, and then games following that night.
Termites soon to come.
Oh, I hope not yet. I hadn't thought about that yet. So-
Gnats.
That's
Oh,
always
gnats.
pain.
I thought you
Gnats
said
are-
termites.
I did say
Did say
termites, but
Oh,
gnats
gnats,
what
gnats-
the term-
gnats will be
term-
there. So, but anyway,
the lights are working, they will come.
yeah. That's
Then
all.
the termites come.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Okay. Let's see. Council business.
I don't have anything to do.
Josh?
I'm good, thank you.
Kyle?
Yeah, I'd like to bring up a situation that's really been an ongoing situation, and really sad for the residents and many of my constituents. But that is with Shieldsboro. I know I'm not going to get into the bylaws of the HOA, but what I do want to discuss is there seems to be a lot of concerns. It becomes our issue when there's really no representation from the HOA or the residents in that area to be able to contact. And so I feel a lot of those calls. And Mayor, I think you drove by today. And so my question, evidently with the developer it's changed hands, it's with DSLD now, correct? They're doing the development phase 2.
Yes.
And so I believe there is a,
Hold on, hold on, let's talk about that. Mayor, the infrastructure has been put in, correct?
Yes.
So the infrastructure's been put in, but my understanding is that home group purchased all of the lots in that. Isn't that, like,
No,
yes, they are
I don't
building
think
it,
all of them, but they
purchased
a lot.
they have not purchased, so they're not necessarily the develop, you just have to watch your terminology on that.
So, yeah.
Because, right, Jason, we accepted all the infrastructure.
Yes.
So the development portion of it, so the developer is gone. And so
Okay,
the infrastructure's
so-
been installed. So now you could think of it, yes, it is this home group, but it could be,
Well, this home
You
group
or
is
I,
the home
yeah.
home group is essentially they're unilaterally in charge of the HOA, and the issue is there's no communication or and this is what's pertinent to us. And Jeremy, you can help me with this too. Is I know HOA has to be consistent with what our ordinances set, right? So if they can have their bylaws, and as long as it's consistent with our ordinances, and we go inspect, nothing we can do. But evidently, in speaking and having to do a little digging and find out who is over the HOA, evidently it is I think it is a DSLD employee or supervisor that is unilaterally in charge of that.
That's my understanding today.
And so the concern is, apparently there were some amendments made to the original bylaws that, and when I spoke with Mitch, is his name, with DSLD, I think is over this homeowners, that said there's going to be an office that's going to be put in place that's being built now that has 2 rectangular parking lots. And when I questioned about that, it was, well, that's going to be an office space, but that's in our amended bylaws. Well, that's residential. That's R2. Regardless of the bylaws, we have an ordinance that you have commercial in a residential area. Am I mistaken on that?
No, that is correct.
So have we gotten those amendments, Jeremy, from DSLD to the previous bylaws to the current bylaws to specify?
Speaking in a microphone.
well, I don't, so let me answer this, because this is more of
Jeremy,
a
when
legal
you talk-
issue.
talking
So
about-
I don't know that we would get a copy of their bylaws. Whatever their bylaws have, let me finish. Whatever their bylaws have and whatever they have, that's on them. No, they could not put in their bylaws that they could go off and, make a commercial property or they cannot legally do that in their bylaws. So they're still subject to the Bay St. Louis planning and zoning. So if they put something like that in their bylaws, it does not make it legal from a city standpoint. And
So
I
we'll
don't,
address that on the city side, but the concern is how this overlaps is there's not, and I get the legalities, I get the HOA, we can't dictate that, but then when there's no representation or there's really no contact for the residents to have questions or understand, I get contacted. And so I want to better understand, do we, again, were we provided with those bylaws to understand the architectural design? Again, that's not dictated. We don't have architectural design in our ordinances, but there are specific parameters of what can and can't be built there. And it does fall into our, jurisdiction when there is, again, if there's an office that's being put in a subdivision that's residential. But I guess we're trying to just bring everyone to the table. And again, as my constituents, try to better understand who they can contact and have a voice in the decision process with HOA. And right now, there is none.
well, and the problem that you have, Kyle, is right now that group is probably the majority of the HOA. So until those individual lots start buying out, they kind of have, I hate to use the term monopoly, but
where does
they are going to be the majority. So if the HOA votes or whatever their
there is
procedures
no,
are,
but that's the problem is there's been no votes. There's been no communication. And I do feel like there's a responsibility to ensure that we hold DSLD's feet to the fire to ensure that those HOA bylaws by the state are being followed. And our
I don't
residents
think
have a
we can
voice.
legally do that. We have to make sure that they follow our planning and zoning, but whatever they do as a homeowners association, unfortunately, that's up for the members of the homeowners association to push that forward.
But when the homeowner association is unilaterally the developer,
Commercial.
Mike,
Yeah, they
talking to the
can't do
mic.
that. They
Right.
can't,
Yeah, but-
they can't change
And I
city
think what came to light
property.
today is
And that's what today is the first time I'm hearing about this, and
Yeah.
we rode by there, and it looks like it's one of their homes. I can see one of the slabs. I can see where they've uprooted, but to my knowledge, and I have not talked to Jeremy about this, but I don't think they've come in and asked for some sort of use or asked for.
No.
I think all that we know from a city standpoint to this point is that they just that's one of their houses, correct? Do you know anything differently?
well, y'all might want to talk with Mitch because Mitch is apparently he's over the HOA and he said it's an office as of today. It was a conversation.
Well, and again,
Well,
that's information that we learned today too.
And it-
So
and
it's
it-
not that
yeah.
anybody is allowing this. It's not that anybody's looking
No,
the
I
other
get it. I
way.
just want to try.
I don't think
yeah.
until
No, and again, I don't think that was indicated on the permit or their plan that I was going to be in office, but it was brought out today because they're two slabs. They're parking lots, and so that's when I was first notified of, hey, this doesn't look like just a roundabout or a driveway.
No.
what I saw, if it's the one we think it is, there's a slab going into the garage, and then there looks like a two-person or
Additional
two-car
parking space,
thing
yeah.
to the
the
right.
right
But the
facing the
the
house.
one of them is the driveway into the garage, and then there's some clearing that I couldn't tell if it was a new lot,
have-
like they're about to have a new house built there, or if they're putting something else. That
Can we
part I couldn't tell.
confirm with DSLD, because they're the ones building that, of what the use is of that property?
I don't think we have to confirm what the use is. I mean, we tell them this is a residential property in a residential neighborhood. That is a special use district. But if I'm remembering, I mean, we're going back years now, 4 or 5 years ago, I don't remember there being any uses allowed in there other than residential uses. Do any of
Correct,
y'all?
but
I think it
but
was just
according-
residential.
According to Mitch, who's over, he says every time DSLD does, they take over a project, they put an amendment in the bylaws that allows an office.
Well, I hate to tell Mitch, but he's never done business in Bay St. Louis. So
Correct.
he
And I
could
think
be somewhere that
that's where the breakdown in
allows.
communication. That's
Now,
why I've asked
you
if
do-
we've gotten those, if we've gotten those amendments to the bylaws.
No,
It,
we
that
have
does not. It does not matter. So I don't care if they've amended their bylaws. That's great. That's fine. But they're still not going to get a business permit. They're still not going to be allowed to do that.
So they will
There
not
is
get
a home office provision but I'm not going to sit here and publicly tell them how to skirt our.
So they
zoning
won't be able
laws.
to get a certificate of occupancy until it's till they disclose what that's being used for. Correct.
Well, I mean, if they got a certificate of occupancy, it would be for residential for a
residential.
house.
They've never come before to ask for, any
I don't think they
type
plan on it.
different. Well, it's not allowed in our ordinance.
Okay.
I mean, right now, it's all we have to go on. Joanna called, made some phone calls, and I've been on the phone with her and everything. Ricky's been out there, I think. Took Heather out there and showed her as well. And we don't have anything showing where they came in and asked for, for this to be allowed.
The only thing they've asked for is a house.
Yes.
And again, there is a home office portion of your ordinance that.
But I just
That's
think we
allowable.
owe it to the residents to be able to have, again, I get the delineation of HOA versus city ordinances, but, again, they're paying dues and really have no voice in the matter. They have no say. They don't know what's going on. And so I think DSLD needs to come to the table and have that
I
communication.
think they even
And-
controlling their little web page as well for Shieldsboro.
And we as
you
a
know.
city we have to be careful, Kyle, because that is their homeowners association. When you buy a piece of property in there, you should get a copy, depending, I guess, on who your closing attorney is and what they tell you. But so, I mean, we have to watch because
Yeah.
yes, there's things that we can do to regulate and there's things that we can do to help, and we always want to help our constituents, but we also can't overstep. And that document is a living, breathing document that belongs to the
Yeah,
homeowners association and
I
not the
get
city
that,
of Bay
but
St. Louis.
they're getting the runaround, and so when they call me, I do try to at least dig and find out. And so we were able to find out who is over the HOA. Evidently, it's DSLD, and there's been no input or involvement from the homeowners that are paying dues. And so,
And I don't even know, I mean, I don't know if are they operating one homeowners association for phase one and a second?
well, that's the thing. If we don't have any amendments to what the original, because we do have the original
Well,
bylaw.
every homeowner in the original Shieldsboro should have a copy and be able to have
But
access
if they're
to their.
amending, but if they're amending the phase one, which according to Mitch, they have put amendments forth.
Well, what I'm telling you is every homeowner has a right to see those, and there are documents in those.
Doesn't that have to be
But they
voted
have a
on by the
problem getting that
homeowner?
information. is what I'm saying.
Typically, it depends
That's
on
what I'm
how,
saying.
Gene may have more
Well,
experience. It depends on
set up.
how the association and the bylaws. But what I do know is we can't dictate to them what's in their bylaws or what typically happens in a homeowners association is when there is a dispute of some sort, the homeowners come together and will actually file suit against the homeowners association. And that's just, I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's also when you buy a home in an area that has a homeowners association, that is a risk that you're taking. You're getting
No,
outside the
I get
jurisdiction
all
of the
that. I
city.
think there's just a breakdown in communication on what those amendments, according to DSLD, of what those amendments have been made to the original bylaws, and nobody knows what those are. And evidently, according to their bylaws, you can have an office.
And
in that
again, what I'm saying is, we can't. Some homeowner needs to call and ask.
And they
and-
have.
And I
I've
think
tried
we
to,
didn't.
and
Did you know about this before today?
No.
I mean, I think 3:30 today is the first time. It was rough 3:30 is the first time that this issue. I've heard of this
Yeah,
issue.
and I've
So
got a call, and this is, and again, the homeowners are getting a run around. Finally, we're able to determine who actually is over that HOA, and there's been no planned meeting, no notification as to what the changes are. I take it as, and I get all of it, but when I get those calls, I think we do have an obligation to try to link them to the right individual, and we've tried that, and they're still unsuccessful in getting a meeting. And so I want to just bring that up for awareness. That's it. So that's all I have, Councilman Nalbach.
Okay, thank you. So is Jeremy going to follow up on them about this extra building they building?
they're not building an extra building. It's a house.
It's being
That
used
looks
as an
like
office.
every other house, and I don't think it's open. They were doing concrete work today. I don't know if they've reached substantial completion. I don't know if they have an Jeremy doesn't know. That's not Jeremy's department. I'm looking at him. He doesn't know. I don't know if they've received a certificate of occupancy yet or anything, but it's a house, and it's I mean, I'm guessing what they do is, I mean, when they sell all the houses, there's no needs to, so I'm assuming they open one as like a spec house, and then they sell it as their last house when they close out the project. That's what I would assume. I mean, because there's no reason for them to keep a home in a residential neighborhood once they're all done. So I'm assuming it's a place that, I mean, and quite frankly, if they put it up for sale on MLS and people could come in and out of it, there's not much you can do about that.
Well, Mayor, I'm going to send you the contact. It might be good to just discuss so we can all get on the same page with the SLD.
I know one of them's looking for the original bylaws as well.
But we have. So I thought we addressed this in the past though. We have a copy. I think this was when we were talking about phase one. We have a copy of their current the previous bylaws are there, right?
It's usually we get a copy of the covenants.
But we should.
They
if
may
there's any
give us a
amendment, we should
copy-
be given that information as well, because apparently you couldn't have shingles. Now you can have shingles.
So again, that's
Again,
all.
I know that's HOA. I know you can have shingles, but I'm just saying. But there's been an amendment to the original bylaws that we have, so I think we would want to make sure if part of that bylaw is they can have an office in a residential area.
Again,
then
it
we wanna
doesn't.
make sure
If they came in and said, "I'm creating an office," they would be told, "No, you're not." It doesn't matter what the bylaws say. They would be told, "You
Well,
cannot
that-
have an office. This is
right.
against the
Yeah,
plan.
if you
This
got-
is
if-
against planning and
If
zoning."
you guys want to have that discussion, I did send you that number for the individual, Mitch.
I got
That's over at DSLD, and it informed me today that it's an office, so we want to clarify that.
Okay,
Thank you.
I got it. Thanks.
Miss Linda, you got anything?
I do when we break down on the different agenda things, but not right now.
I'm sorry.
When we get to the agenda, to the breakdown of different numbers, I got a question on one of them.
Oh, okay.
but
You
not
got consent
right now
agenda.
during
Okay,
council.
I got you. All right, I don't have anything. Let's see. No public comment? City clerk's report? Oh, wait. Engineer's
Yeah.
report. Okay, good evening. We do have one item tonight that we are asking for authorization on in our report. Took bids on the Baila for our boat launch improvement phase 2. And we've discussed the project with the contractor, Coastal Land and Marine Construction. We do recommend accepting our engineer's recommendation and to authorize the mayor to execute all the contract documents. We have our bid tabulation included with the project.
And this is that most grant
Yes, sir.
that we received for $150,000 and use phase one as our match, so there's no match anything to this as well.
So, and the contractor's confident he can do it.
He is. We met with him last week and walked and looked at all the requirements, and so he's ready to go.
I just noticed
Yeah.
a good difference
There's a big difference between the
between the
second bidder.
bids.
That's
Him
right.
and the next bid was,
He said he can
Pretty
do it.
good
He's ready to move on site as soon as we approve everything.
okay, good deal. Good. All right. Let's see here.
All right,
I'll make
someone
that.
to make a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the engineer's recommendation to award the Baylor Boat Launch Improvements Phase 2 project to Coastal Land and Marine Construction and authorize the mayor to execute all contract documents.
Okay, we got a motion from Councilman DeSalvo to approve the engineer's recommendation to award the Bayou LaCroix Boat Launch Improvements Phase 2 project, Coastal Land and Marine Construction, and authorize the mayor to execute the contracts. and the amount is $119,110.50. Second by Councilman Davis. Any discussion? Vote to motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 5-0.
Okay, thank you for that. One item we would like to remind everybody is that the ARPA Phase 2 project, the lining of the sewer manholes and sewer mains has commenced. We are looking at a point repair on Valentine Street. That's where they're gonna start with that type of work. We might be able to do that as an internal point repair, which means we don't have to cut the road and close down the road and things like that. So we actually have a meeting with the contractor tomorrow to try
It's
to,
already cut though, right?
well, a small portion of it's been cut by Public Works, but with the
Yeah.
point repair to dig down and make the repair all the way down on that line, it'd have to be cut from edge of pavement to edge of pavement, which means the road has to be shut down, be a much more expensive repair. So if we can do that internally and just repair that tap and keep that material from washing into to the manhole or to the sewer line, then that's gonna be a better product, so.
When you say internally, can you expand upon that? 'Cause
Yeah, so what
the
they
whole-
can come in, since it's so close to the manhole, they can come in with a sewer tap liner. And so what they would do is basically line the main where the tap is, and then up into the sewer line or the sewer service line. So that'll seal off. What happened is there's a gasket that rolled in that tap, and that's why a lot of material's washing into the sewer line, which is causing a sinkhole in the surface. So once we seal that off, the material won't wash into the manhole anymore or into the sewer line,
So when you say internally, you mean inside the pipe,
inside the
Yeah,
pipe.
not-
Not
not
internally
the
with
city.
our, yeah, okay.
not with our
Oh,
Public
yeah,
Works
I'm
Department?
sorry, different
That's-
phrase
yeah.
internal, yeah.
But that's good information to know as well. Okay.
Yeah, so the contractor would do this, BLD would still do it,
Gotcha.
but that's where we're meeting with them about tomorrow to see if
Either
that's
way,
something
they're
we
gonna
can
redo
do.
it.
And so they're gonna repair the road also?
If we can do it we'll repair the road, but if we could do this internally, then there's no reason to dig up the road and excavate all the way down to the pipe.
No, I
It'll
mean,
be a
it's
less-
already torn up.
It'll be less of a repair, that's right. And you'll probably see the trucks all around town doing their manhole inspections and sewer line cleaning and everything. Yeah.
So how's the beaver dams doing?
Which one?
Yeah, tore up one by the seminary.
Yeah, they caught a couple over there, but there's a whole bunch of them in there. The one close to the highway there, they busted one back somewhere behind the post office that was brought up.
Is that the one that's holding that water back?
Wasn't sure, yeah, if he's still in there or not, but it was doing all right. And then, of course, the ones out there off Sienna Lane back in there come and go and all as well, but been able to, so when we get the marsh buggy, we can move forward with that and excavate everything out of there.
Are we closer on that culvert? So we identified, I know Jason, you identified a lot of collapsed culverts that need to be replaced. Are we any closer in getting, I mean, I think we were looking at that citywide though, right?
Yeah, we were. We've turned all that into MEMA. There's about a $2 million hazard mitigation grant that we've applied for. We've been informally notified that it's been approved, but we're still waiting on the final verification.
How's the Byers Street thing going?
I think pretty well. They started a couple of weeks ago. We've made some adjustments to the water drain pipe culvert. So I think it's gonna work out well with the residents in that area. It'll be traffic, once school gets back in session, traffic is gonna be disrupted, and that's just construction, so.
Yeah.
They'll have their lane closures and road closures, and we'll just have to adjust the school route around that.
Jason, make sure we send that to the school too for a reminder to send out.
Okay. Yeah, when they
Alright, so-
issued the notice to proceed, they were notified, but we'll keep in
Right.
touch with them throughout the
Yeah.
project.
And where are we at on the harbor repairs?
Which one?
Well, the one, I know you're getting ready to dredge, right?
Right, we're gonna advertise for dredging next week.
Okay. And what about the south wall?
That's, Zeta Repairs.
Oh, it's Ida.
No,
That's
that's
Zeta.
Roads are Ida, I think.
Yeah.
Roads is Ida, Harbor is Zeta.
Harbor Zeta Repairs.
So when y'all gonna do on that south wall?
That,
Is the south, which one's
it's
the
that south
litigation?
wall.
Oh,
And
I
we
forget
just did a
which one
grant
is
Is
south
that-
wall.
participation loan for $3.5 million, so.
That's the one in litigation.
Yeah, we don't have a,
Oh, that's not litigation.
Are we
No.
ready to, we can award that whenever we're ready.
Yes.
That's the one to Guilds.
Oh, that's why you're looking at me. Yes. So the issue that we have with that is it's a very old bid. It's also, and I'm happy to discuss this with you in executive session. It's what, Jason, now a year and a half old bid with a contractor that we're actively in litigation with. So it's more of a decision for you all as to if you want to move forward with that contractor. And I think we discussed that in executive session a month or so ago, but happy to discuss again.
Yeah, because I thought we kind of had a resolution when we came out of there, maybe not.
Well, then, what's your recommendation, Jason? Because things got to get fixed.
Contractors held.
So you're saying it needs to go out for bid again?
Well, he held his
I don't
bid.
think it's his recommendation. I think it's not, I wouldn't
I think we
recommend that.
need to go and
Jason,
discuss it in
discuss it.
executive session.
Okay. All right. You got anything else?
Up there. Let y'all have any other questions?
Anybody? Nope. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see. City clerk's report?
Mike hadn't made it back for yet, but
Just the docket of the claim.
first one just docket a claim, $863,111.44.
Anybody got anything, any questions? Nope. I have a motion.
Motion to approve docket claims 25-009 in the amount of $863,111.44 dated March 5th, 2025.
I got a motion from Councilman Hoffman to approve docket of claims 25-009 in the amount of $863,100. Second?
Second.
Second, Councilman DeSalvo. Any discussion? Vote to motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Consent agenda. First thing on street repair, closures for a senior sunset parade.
Yes. That's a little parade they do with the Jeeps each year. It start down at, Washington Street, come down the beach, I think to Court Street, down Court to Second to Main, up Main, back down the beach to Washington, and they'll have their finale at the Washington Street, fire pit.
Oh, has the county approved it yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Linda, you said you had something you wanted to talk about?
On number 12.
12, okay.
Yeah. So, just reading and going back, and I study and I take my notes. There's the two different addresses. I noticed that one's sealed and one is not, and I was just wondering what causes, like, when it's the same setup, they're going for the same preparation. So what would cause for one to have to be a sealed and one not?
Are you talking about a sealed bid?
Yes.
Okay. You are correct. There's two different process being used. 4035 Honshu is, they were allowed to move forward with just 3 competitive quotes. Tried to move forward with just 3 competitive quotes on that. However, they received contractor complaints about the bid process, basically saying that they were told to adjust their bid prices, and the bid didn't set well, and so they complained. And so Tetra Tech thought it was in the best interest of the city to make sure that we could get reimbursed to go out for sealed bids. So there's a certain time where everybody had to submit a bid.
Okay. So it's all initially the same job, same goal, just that
Yes,
one
nothing.
resident has to do sealed bid.
The
and
scope
one
of
doesn't.
work are correct. None of that's changed. It's just separate
Were those
bidding
bids already
processes
out
were
there?
used. Say that again.
The first 3 bids were they already out there?
Oh, they had been submitted to Tetra Tech. Yes, or to the homeowners. They had been submitted to the homeowner who submitted them to Tetra Tech.
And then we had to rebid it.
and then we had to rebid it, correct?
Oh, they had to rebid it.
They had to rebid it because at least one contractor, some of the Tetra Techs dealt with this, so I'm just going off my sheet. But a contractor complained that he was asked to submitted a bid, and then was told that the bid needed to be higher. I don't know the details. Again, that Tetra Tech was dealing with that, but that was the reason.
So are they gonna open them, and when are they gonna open them?
I think it was last. Tammy's here; she could probably tell you, but I think they were already due.
Okay.
And I do know that I know they were due because I don't have my phone. My phone's dead in the car. But I think there's only 2 contractors of the 3 submitted sealed bids.
So, so did that put us in any jeopardy with the bids already out there? And
As in, could a contractor challenge it?
yeah.
I mean, that's always a
I
possibility.
mean, I don't know who was high, low, whoever bid on it, whatever, but those bids was already out there, and whatever reason they had to go out for proposals sealed.
Sealed proposals. It's an unfortunate situation all the way around.
I'm just wondering if we have any liability in it at all.
I mean, you know, y'all have heard me. If you've heard me say it once, you've heard me say it 100 times. You always have liability. There's always exposure.
Anybody have any other questions on the consent agenda? That's fine, you come up.
Tammy Curtis Sky, 3100 Robertson Road, Big St. Louis. So, we were waiting for the 3rd sealed bid. Tetra Tech told me that it was gonna be resubmitted, like Heather was saying, on a sealed bid, and so I know that Sanders Kane was one of them, Davy, and then Wolf. And I know, because Davy just called to get more information from me, I know they were one of them. I know Sanders submitted that one. And so the one we were waiting on was Wolf. And so they haven't submitted it. So then Tetra Tech told me that they may try to see if Wolf isn't going to come up with one, because we can't find, there's not another company that is certified in Mississippi that they've been able to locate, or I have, that can raise our home. We thought it was like, is it Olshan, or I know I'm mispronouncing the name, it's Olshan. We thought they could, and Tetra Tech offered them. So when I called and I made an appointment, they were apologetic, and they said, no, we're so sorry about the confusion. We don't raise to like 20 feet high. So that took them off the board, so we were left with Wolf, Sanders, and Sanders just basically, he knows that we want to raise the brick and everything in the platform, but he went ahead and submit for what they can do, and then Davy. And so we were waiting for the 3rd sealed bid to tick all the boxes, but it's yet to come in. So that's all I know right now. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, anybody got any questions on the consent agenda? A motion to approve? Anybody?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda, items 8 through
16?
16.
All right, got a motion to approve consent agenda items 8 through 16. Councilman Hoffman, we have a second.
Second.
Second, Councilman DeSalvo. Any discussion? Vote the motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Uh,
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Spread reports. So when are we gonna get a revenue and expense report?
I think we have one, and according to the last auditor, you'll get a new one. I think it's the 1st of the month. I don't know, which mean, they're the same thing from meeting, because they said don't send it out because it's not accurate, because we don't reconcile the accounts day by day, till the end of the month when everything is reconciled and everything. So I don't remember if it's on the second meeting.
We haven't got one since December 31st.
Haven't gotten a revenue expense report?
That's correct.
What do we have on the agenda tonight?
I took it off because it was the same one from December 31st.
I'll find out about that. I didn't,
I'd like to see one for the next meeting.
Yeah, we got the sales tax and gaming, but no revenue expense.
Yeah, I talked to Mr. Riso about it. I said, why do you keep putting up the same revenue expense report every month?
I'll make a note and see.
All right, thank you.
See, I'll put
Uh,
maybe the wrong one.
I don't know.
Okay, a motion to,
Motion to spread the cash balances, wage and hours report, revenue. The revenue report is the detailed grant revenue report. Grant and intergovernmental revenue report, revenue and expense report, we don't have that one, right?
correct.
And then the detailed grant revenue and gaming sales tax report.
All right, got a
Five reports that are listed: wage and hours, cash balances, grant revenue, grant and intergovernmental revenue, and gaming and sales tax.
Got a motion by Councilman Hoffman, to approve the following: cash balances, wage and hour report, revenue report, grant and intergovernmental, revenue report, detailed grant revenue report, and gaming and sales tax reports. Got a second?
Second.
Second, Councilman Lewis. Any discussion? Vote to motion?
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries 5-0. We'll go into session.
Yeah, I propose if you guys want to go into executive session to discuss, actually Warner. I've got a very brief update on that with the Warner, that's the VRBO short-term rental. And then the other one is the Dale and Associates and then Gills Crane, litigation.
Dean, you make a,
So I'll make a motion to go into closed session to discuss what the attorney just addressed.
motion from Councilman Hoffman to go into executive session.
We're gonna go closed session and then.
Oh,
go-
closed session, I'm sorry.
And this is to discuss litigation strategies that would be detrimental to the case.
Okay. Got a second?
Second.
Councilman DeSalvo, seconds. Vote to motion?
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries 5-0. We are in closed session. And